Shalom, shalom. Kal halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, double honor to the elders and the bishops of the Great Millstone GMS, who rule well, who teach well, and salutations to the elect, pushing this gospel, this good news, the world over, in sincerity and in truth. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And this is absolutely disgraceful, disgusting, but it goes to show you that the people in power, man, are really just a bunch of freaks, weirdos, PDF files, creeps. Alright? This is from endtimeheadlines.org, and I just came across this, alright, and I've screenshotted this, and I'll put the link to the actual news article in the description area underneath in the title. So, this is recent today, alright, fresh, off the press, August the 27th, 2025, alright, and look at the headline. UN-sponsored materials teach kids as young as 10 about foreplay and other you-know-what acts. The United Nations Children's Fund is reportedly sponsoring materials that teach minors worldwide, some as young as 10, to explore their preferred sexual practices through things like foreplay and to view that word as a way to understand their bodies and desires. You see, these people are supposed to be, the moral, upright, standing people, okay? And this is what they're doing. You see, it's all this philanthropy they talk about and trying to benefit humanity any ways they can, that's just all the guys, man. Okay? The bunch of perverts deep down. The Center for Family and Human Rights, a non-partisan think tank, analysed dozens of the UN. This is the UN, man. Agencies, programs, and materials in July reported. Sorry, let me read that again. The Center for Family and Human Rights, a non-partisan think tank, analysed dozens of the UN's agency programs and materials in a July report titled UNICEF Attack on the World's Children. Max Primarak, a senior research fellow at the Margaret Thatcher Centre for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, told the Christian Post that his research has also uncovered evidence suggesting UNICEF imposes sexual ideologies on children. Yeah. And E is just a predator when it comes to children, man. To women, young boys. Alright? That's just their nature. It's true. Alright? I ain't gonna, sugarcoat things. Alright? That's just what they are, man. The European E wherever he is in the world is like that. Okay? That's just their history. They've always been that way. Football coaches, molesting boys. People in the church, grown men in the church, especially in the Catholic Church, doing that to boys. All right, your prime ministers, man. The list goes on. All right. The researcher also pointed to numerous examples of UNICEF openly promoting the abominable acronym messaging in its programming. Okay. CFAM conducts serious research and their findings confirm my own discovery of UNICEF imposing radical sex ideologies on some of the most vulnerable populations, especially children in Africa. And you know how these devils like to test in Africa anyway? Okay. Alright. My man Jill Bates with his, Maxine's over there and things like that. Depopulation agenda. Alright. And even those those Christian ministries that go over there to maybe teach children in Africa maybe English or do things that, to help the so-called help the Hamitic people. All right. And of course, we've got Israelites scattered among them and things like that. All right. They've got a wicked agenda underneath. And they even, do all sorts of things to the children there. Touch them and feel them up and all sorts, man. All right? Maybe even kidnap. You see? That merits a total cut-off in US aid, including through our global HIV/AIDS program, PEPFAR. In a Friday statement, CFAM noted that UNICEF promotes these types of materials cited in its report without explicit approval from the UN member states. The think tank also asserted that most of the UN where did I get to? Yeah, sorry. The UNICEF did not respond to the Christian Post request for a comment. All right, probably when I screenshot it, cut off a bit of that. All right. So while UNICEF claims to promote age-appropriate, comprehensive sexuality education materials, but you'll when you click the article, you can read through. All right. CFAM's analysis highlighted a Your Guide to Adulthood Without Secrets brochure that the agency published in January 2024. The brochure is intended for Ukrainian children of various age groups, including teenagers, preteens, and young children. All right. The UNICEF brochure aimed at Ukrainian children ages 15 to 18. All right. Okay, and you become a man at 12. All right. Ages 15 to 18 tells teenagers that sex happens before going into detail about several sexual acts, including sodomy, sex. All right, which that's forbidden. That's against the scriptures. Okay, that's an exit. That's not where the male reproductive organ is supposed to be entering. All right. When it comes to, laying down with your woman and things like that. Okay. But he's perverse. Alright. Okay. But they're telling them about 15 to 18-year-olds about this. UNICEF CSE material also tells teenagers that masturbation is part of a healthy sexual behavior. Regarding Ukrainian children ages 10 to 14, the brochure claims that all types of sexual orientations are natural and that phrases such as traditional and non-traditional orientation are incorrect. The material also encourages the young teens and preteens to think about their preferred sexual practices and to discuss these preferences with a partner while they're still unmarried. So these are what they're putting into the head of the youth. You see that? This world is more and more getting more and more it's just decaying more and more morally everywhere, shape and form. Okay. And look, man, the homo thing it's just completely wrong and abominable, man. It's against the scriptures. It's against the way of life. It's unnatural. It's supposed to be man and woman. 2 genders, that's it. Male and female. But this is what they're doing, man. You see? And you'll have our people that vote because they're all about the system, they're all about this world. And that's them being destroyed for lack of knowledge. They really think that he's somewhere deep down that is truly on their side when they're not. They can never be. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. All right, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So the point is that, man, this devil is a fornicator and he's profane, man. Going back to the Latin word profanum, meaning outside the temple, outside of doing righteousness. You see, for them to push this, for the UN to do this, these devils are low and they're just showing themselves, man. And we're exposing this through the spirit and power of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. Okay. See, these are children of fools, man. Base men, viler than the earth, that's what they are. Behind closed doors, man. They really are something else. You see? That's what they are. Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. You see, so we're always going to be at enmity with E. Okay? See, they're just the wicked. And we get seduced into do wickedness as well. Okay? But we're of the righteous seed, man. You see? Even, we were always fighting in the womb. Okay? You see? No matter how much we try to come together, unite, integrate, all right, or even if we separate, no matter what, we can never get on. Truly. Between us 2 nations, Jacob and Esau. Verse 23, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Yeah, Esau came out first. All right, and in the kingdom, he's going to serve us. Jacob, okay. And with 2 different people, man. They like to do all these, they like to have that medium rare meat and blood still in it. They like to do all these, wild things and all this rock climbing and doing all this like bungee jumping and just doing things that are just daredevilish, man. But we have different ways about ourselves, man. Okay. And even though, due to the curses and things like that, even though we're stronger than Esau, physically and all that, all right, smarter, okay, we're mentally stronger, they're quick to just end their life if things don't go their way. If they're going under some stress, they're quick to fold like that. All right? But these devils, they're in the rulership seat and they've been blessed with a sword and, they're at the top. You see, they've got the military prowess and things of that nature. All right? But, Yahweh Shem Shai, is going to soon take them out of power. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 10 in the CSB, and it says, but I will strip Esau bare. I will uncover his secret places. He will try to hide, but he will be unable. His descendants will be destroyed along with his relatives and neighbors. He will exist no longer. And after they serve their 1,000 years in hardcore bondage, along with the rest of the heathen, in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be done away with completely, permanently. Okay? But you see, these devils are being made bare, man. They're being exposed every day. Okay? They're getting weaker and weaker. You see, and they can't hide now, they can't run now. Alright? I like to play that victim card, that white privilege. Okay? And most of these, they see that when things don't go their way, they like to push things on the immigrants and the migrants and things like that. Alright? They're PDF files, man. They're the true predatory sexual predators and things like that. Okay? Bald E, man. With a suit and tie. You see? Smile at your face at work and something different when he leaves. You see? So they're the criminals, man. Crime, crimson, red-handed. That's them. You see? Yeah. So that's what the UN teach kids as young as 10 about foreplay and other... Like, come on, man. United Nations Children's Fund. This is worldwide, they're doing it, man. Yeah, these devils have to go, man. Alright, Babylon has to be destroyed, America. Okay. In closing, Kal Halal Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Rakakurash. Also double honor to the elder apostles of the Great Millstone. Gonna end the lesson right there, man. Muwath Lababal. And Shalom to the elect. Only the elect of the nation of Yasha Allah.